Check this out, guys. Not something you see every day, I'll tell you that much. 1948 Lincoln Continental. I'm not sure what they call it, a coupe or or just a two-door or what, to be honest. But obviously it's a two-door, and yeah, it's a cool old car. And there's certainly a big surprise waiting under the hood for you. I mean, check this out, guys. Look at the size of this sill plate here, or kick plate. Just 40s luxury. 847 of these ever made in the two-door configuration. I mean, the size of the grille and everything in here is just this. This is huge clock here, kind of mirroring the Speedo. This is wild. I'll hop out, and Steve Bin had electric windows added to it, so it's got all the luxuries. And check out the back, like the armchairs in the back. Beautiful leather interior, absolutely beautiful. So yeah, this is a neat old car. Just something you rarely ever see. Let's just take a look around this thing and soak it in. Got the Continental kit style spare wheel, a trunk. It's got a big stereo hiding in there, and literally, if you peek over the top here, we've got a Continental trunk in the trunk. It's just a styling and a method of building from yesteryear that you just don't often see. It's massive. It's got the old Tennessee plates tag on it. Huge wide white wall, not wide white walls, but they're the Coca white walls. I think they're Coca Classics. And yeah, just a massive car, massive front on it. So let's check out under the hood. Now, some of you may have seen the little short that I posted on this car. Oh, okay. All right, there's a hood release inside somewhere. Somewhere. Oop. Oh, is that the hood? There we go. I'm pretty sure that internal hood release has been added. There we go. Ta-da! Here we go. 383 big block Mopar. This has had like the whole front clip from, I believe, a 68, from what the customer's telling me, a 68 Mopar of some description, maybe a Monaco, some big body Mopar. So this has got all the torsion bar Mopar suspension in it. It's got the Mopar rear axle, 8 3/4. So back in '86, you read all this blurb. It was done down in Dallas, Texas, 1986. Kind of predates the days of custom chassis and aftermarket chassis. So they did, they worked with what they had in '86, which was a big, Dodge Monaco, maybe something like that chassis, and they cut it up, spliced it in with the Lincoln undercarriage, and came up with this. I mean, it starts beautiful, and it's super smooth, plenty of power and torque, and it kind of sits in there and doesn't look too out of place, really. There's quite a few electronic upgrades there, but yeah, it's really a surprise. Oh yeah, just a cool car, lovely condition. The customers brought it in to get it raised up a little bit. It was riding kind of a little bit hot roddy low for him. So we're going to wind up the height, which is easy with the torsion bars, add some air shocks in the back, and get this, he just wants to pick it up an inch, inch and a half, something like that, just to help it, swallow up those bumps in the road. And so let's get it in there. So let's take a quick look around underneath, see what we can find. Here, pretty immediately you can see the 8 3/4 Mopar rear. Now there's been quite a melding, shall we say, of the Lincoln chassis and the Mopar chassis. You can kind of see there's some shapes that are sort of somewhat mismatched and have been made to work. Now, given the age of this conversion was done back in '86, that's when the restoration was, so I'm assuming that's when all this chassis / suspension swapping was done. It's not a full chassis swap. They've used sections, from what I can see. That's an original Mopar kind of front spring hanger, and I think they've grafted that into the Lincoln chassis here. I'm trying to keep the light on there for you guys, which is a little challenging, but I'm doing my best. I'm pretty sure that's Lincoln chassis up there. But it is a little, it's certainly been cut up in places, to work. This probably had a torque, well, possibly, not probably, but possibly had a torque tube type setup in the rear. You can see there's a factory cutout here for what would have been the single exhaust, and then it's gas cutout here for the duals. To run duals, they've added the underfloor booster combo here. That's going to have improved the braking and obviously work with the Mopar disc brakes that are up the front. But yeah, this is definitely Mopar chassis here with the torsion bar, transmission cross member in it, and you can see where that's grafted. That's Lincoln chassis, that's Mopar chassis. Looks like they've used but cut up some of the original Mopar engine mount system, because this engine is quite a bit further back, not in the car, the body of the car, but it's further back in the chassis than it would have been, and that's kind of a giveaway with this drag link here being right under the oil pan. The oil pan would have been, this main bowl of the oil pan here would have been up here behind this curved piece of the cross member, and the drag link, it would have sat under there, and the drag link would be under here with plenty of clearance. But that's working, like this doesn't go up and down, so that inch or so of clearance is working just fine. Here's your Mopar disc brake front. I believe what I've been told is it's from a 69 Mopar. Exactly which type of Mopar, that information I don't have. But one of the bigger bodied Mopars, I would say. Here, the Mopar power steering. Really, it's the whole front clip, and then really it appears like they've really just grafted the 8 3/4 and the stock to the 8 3/4 leaf springs into the back of the car. So yeah, I mean, it's not a roadster shop chassis, but it's as I say, for '86, and it works. It's I haven't only driven it across the car park, but it's certainly just that little drive seems fine. There's nothing doing anything really untowards. What we're going to do is just quickly crank up these torsion bars a little bit. You just wind them up here. It is sitting a little low. The guy doesn't really want it to look like it's hot rodded. He doesn't want it to look low, so we're cranking it up a couple of inches, and We've probably got about an inch to go up in the back, and we're just going to get that with air shocks, which is only an inch, so we're not riding the whole weight of this car on the shock absorber mounts. We're just helping it up a little bit in the back. Yeah, you can see up here, this is the Mopar chassis, and they've opened this up here to work in the bumper irons, the Lincoln bumper irons. This is stock, and that's kind of blended in there quite well with the Mopar front end. Yeah, as I say, for its day, not a bad conversion. That's Lincoln chassis there, and that's Mopar here. So it may not be the prettiest conversion ever done, but I would say it was strong. They've not shortchanged anywhere on material. But you know, the bar has raised a bit since '86. That's a while ago, you know. That is a while ago. Nearly 40 years ago. So yeah, the bar has been raised. These dedicated Scott's Hot Rods Roaster Shop, they've really stepped up the game. So all right, I'm going to dig in, get these shocks changed out, and we'll take it for a test drive. Okay, let's take it for a ride. Oop. It doesn't have a gear position indicator, so you've got to feel it go into gear. We're going to go the opposite way around the block this time. She's smooth, isn't she? Very smooth. Good lock for a big long car. Check out the length of the hood. That hood ornament's like, it's in a different zip code up there. Like it's so far away. When you're swinging like into the shop or turning, like you really feel just how long and how far out the front is in front of you. It's quite different to drive. So what we were trying to achieve is just get this riding over the bumps a bit smoother. So we'll take it this way around the block, and we'll see. This is a bumpier section here, so we'll just see how she rides. But it's a nice old car. Find the right electric window switch, put that up, cut the noise down a bit. So Steve's filming this, he's actually in the back seat. So I think he just wanted to feel like he was being chauffeured. I think that's really why he wanted to be in the back. Hey Steve, show him over the back and behind the back seat what they've got hidden over there. And I'll just keep chauffeuring you. Okay, so one thing I'm noticing is she's wandering quite a bit. So whenever you play with the height, we've lifted the front up probably close to 2 inches. So that's affected the alignment. And yeah, it's driving that way. It's wanting to wander a little bit more than it should. So we're going to get a wheel alignment done on it. But, you know, we'll pop there. It's not super fast, but it can definitely move, you know. I mean, I can only imagine how much this thing weighs. And no part of the design, you know, was ever catered towards, you know, make sure this car's light, you know. It was make sure this car's luxurious. I mean, this was meant to rub shoulders with Rolls-Royce and be above Cadillac, is my understanding anyway. Some of the Cadillac boys might take exception to that comment, but yeah, you know, it was certainly meant to be at the high end of the luxury scale. This is the kind of car movie stars had, and I can kind of see why. It's 1948. This is a nice car. It's a nice car to drive. It's benefiting from the, you know, having 2-decade modern suspension that it originally came out with. I imagine this was a beam axle car back in the day. I know it had a flathead V12 and a manual transmission, and some of them, maybe this one, had 2-speed rear axles. That was kind of their overdrive. But you know, that's all gone on this car, and we're you know, do a 1,000,000-mile Mopar running gear in it. So there you go. That's it. You've now been driven like Miss Daisy. I'm going to call this a wrap. Obviously we'll get a wheel alignment on it next week, and she'll go out to get that done. I'm going home to have a bourbon, and then I'm heading off to a wedding reception in the Falcon convertible to pick up a bride and groom. So that's the rest of my day. You have a good one, and take it easy. We'll see you on the next video.